Ho 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 and Merry Christmas to all. Well, maybe not all, or I should say Happy Holidays, since probably not everybody celebrates Christmas, but who cares, I do. And that's why I'm pretty much, well, redoing and revamping the whole top 10 best, and I'll do a top 5 worst Christmas movie list. But since it's Christmas, let's do the best first. Now, of course, there's so many good Christmas movies, and of course there's sequels, which some are good, some really aren't, but there's of course two runners-up, which obviously I couldn't include in the list, because then it would be a top 12 list. The two runners-up, I would say, are Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, which in my opinion, if you see it on my most underrated movie sequel list, is pretty underrated. Yeah, it's not as good as the first one, being that he's not actually home alone, but hey, it sticks to the same formula, and most importantly, it's a Christmas movie, and it sticks to the same holiday spirit. You don't want to be alone on Christmas. Yep. It seems recycled, the booby traps and coming across the same burglars, and everything seems to be the same as the first, but who the hell cares? To me, it's like the Ghostbusters 2 of sequels. Underrated and underappreciated. Just not as good as the first one. But not nearly as bad as the third and fourth one. Oh boy, don't even get me there. And of course the Santa Claus 2. Yeah, it's not as good as the first one in some parts, but it still, again, sticks to the Christmas spirit. It's got some cheesy special effects here and there, but it's still good. And again, just like Home Alone 2, not as good as the first, but not nearly as bad as the third one. Oh boy, don't even get me started on that one. So now that I got those two runners up out of the way, might as well get to the best, starting with number 10, The Grinch, directed by Ron Howard. Although it is some points not as good as the original short film, and it is criticizable, with Jim Carrey going a little too nuts, but hey, come on. What's wrong with Jim Carrey having a little bit of fun here and there? I could tell he definitely is. And, and it sticks to its main holiday spirit, even though it takes at least an hour or so to get to the main point, but come on. It's freaking Jim Carrey as the Grinch, and it's not nearly as bad as when Mike Myers played the Cat in the Hat. Oh boy, don't even get me started on that. It's good, trust me. Very underappreciated in my opinion. Number 9, The Polar Express. Okay, this one's a little more, compared to the Grinch, it sticks to its roots to the book a lot better than the Grinch, even though that one was still good. But this one, it's good. A few slow parts here and there, but it sticks to what it should be. A mildly mannered children's entertainment movie. And anybody my age, I know it seems more like a kid's movie, but it's still, all of us around the age of 20 at least, I'm sure grew up reading the classic novel. Or not really novel, more like a short story, really. And it's still good, believe me. It sticks to what the true meaning of Christmas is all about, and that seeing is not always believing. Number 8, Elf. Yeah, I know. This is probably the only Will Ferrell movie that's PG-13 rated that doesn't suck. I mean, there are some actors like Vince Vaughn and, of course, like I said, Will Ferrell, that are only meant for PG-13/R rated movies. But this one is an exception, because, let's face it, Will Ferrell pretty much brought out the child within him out on this movie. I mean, it's just, he goes all out ballistic like he has freaking ADHD or something, and just loaded himself up on a lot of sugar. I mean, Christ, that's all he talks about in this movie is sugar, candy, and everything. I mean, you can't argue. I could tell he had so much fun doing this movie, and pretty much he tries to get his father to believe in Christmas and everybody else. I mean, that's what the true meaning of Christmas is all about, believing, just like the Polar Express. Number 7, Bad Santa, or if you get the DVD or Blu-ray Bad Earth Santa, pretty much it's a lot better because, well, there's more bonus features, and of course you get the unrated version, which is always better, but it still has all their R-rated material in it. Yeah, this is not really a kid's movie, but hey, who the hell cares? I'll let this one slide. It's still pretty funny. I didn't really think much of it at first when it first came out, but then I gave it a first watch, and I had to say, wow, I just laughed my ass off. You can consider it my guilty pleasure, and I'm sure everybody else can share my same honest thoughts on this one. Yeah, I know it doesn't have a lot to do with the true meaning of Christmas, getting drunk, boozing, and cursing in front of kids, and, but it's not like this is the first Christmas movie with a lot of profanity. Well, it's the first R-rated one, but there's one coming up. Number 6. The Santa Claus. Yeah, of course the first one is better than the second. Not that I hate the second one, but this one is still the original classic starring Tim Allen, where of course he tries to convince his son that he believes in Santa Claus and he wants to get him to believe in Santa Claus. And then, of course, coincidentally in the same night, with a little rooftop mishap, he ends up becoming Santa Claus, thinking that it was a dream, and his son obviously convinces him that it wasn't. I'd say it's a pretty solid storyline, and it's, well, pretty much, again, sticks to its beliefs and tries to get you to believe in the true meaning of Christmas, even though it's some of the commercial aspects, but still, come on, it's freaking Santa Claus. He becomes Santa, and, well, has to be Santa Claus and fill in the duties. I don't think I have to really go far into that. Number 5. Gremlins, the first one. Yeah. Okay, this is a little bit different. I know. It starts out like a Christmas movie, but then ends on more of a disgusting note. Yeah. This was one that really took a lot of liberties, and it was pretty ballsy for being a Christmas movie, considering little green creatures and melting them in the freaking sunlight. That's a Christmas movie? Yeah, parents, I could see why they were outraged and why this was only PG rated, but thank God the sequel is PG-13 rated. In fact, this was one of the many films, aside from the second Indiana Jones movie, that started the whole PG-13 rated fiasco. I mean, Christ, who couldn't argue? But come on, every scene you look at in this movie, you can't forget that it's a Christmas movie. I mean, you simply can't. Just that first song by Darlene Love that comes up on the first screen of the movie, and all the decorations. The only major plot hole concern and question I have is how the hell do the Gremlins walk on the snow and not multiply? If they get wet, aren't they supposed to multiply into more? I don't know. I know it's a nitpicky plot hole, but who the hell cares? It's a Christmas movie. May not be the most happy Christmas ever, especially hearing the story about, Kate's little bad history and disbelief in Santa Claus with her incident with her father and everything. Wow, that's a dark story, but still, it's a damn Christmas movie. Like it or leave it. Number 4. Okay, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Like I was saying before, this was probably one of the first movies incorporated with so much swearing and even a partial nudity scene here and there, but who the hell cares? This, aside from the first Vacation movie, is probably the 2 best ones. Yeah, obviously the Vegas one sucked ass, but this one was hilarious. I know it focuses on the commercial aspects of Christmas, but who the hell cares? It focuses on some of the more important things, like being together with family, no matter how wrong things can go. I mean, things just go completely wrong. Nothing seems to work out for this family, but Clark Griswold himself is a likable guy for looking at more of the, well, positive aspects, like simply being together with the family. No matter how screwed up and no matter how wrecked his house gets, he just wants to spend Christmas with all. Number 3. Home Alone. The first one, of course. The best one. Yeah. Again, this one is a slapstick comedy. Obviously, if it wasn't a Christmas movie, I don't think it would have been as popular as it ended up being. Obviously, the main theme is here, no matter how much you may seem to admit that you hate your family, even if they treat you like garbage and accidentally leave you home alone, there's one thing that has to be said. It's not fun spending Christmas alone. Just that one scene where Kevin walks by and sees that he's alone and sees the whole family together in one house, that just really is like, that's the scene right there that pretty much symbolizes the whole situation in this movie. And then, of course, you got the funny parts. You know, the booby traps on the burglars. The only one thing I couldn't understand is, if he throws paint cans at their face, they hit their head on the freaking concrete and get their head blown off by a blowtorch and irons, and then fall into swing into a brick wall. How does a freaking snow shovel finally completely take them out? That's my only question. All I could say is, kids, never try that stuff at home. I guess that's one of the other main themes of this movie. But overall, great movie. That's the main theme here. You don't want to spend Christmas home alone. Or alone period. Number 2. A Christmas Story. Okay, you knew this one was coming, and you're probably asking, why not at number 1? Okay, I love this movie. I know. Every Christmas, I must watch this movie, God only knows how many times, especially with the marathon that runs with this movie from Christmas Eve night into Christmas Day. You can't miss it. You just can't. The classic basic plot is the kid wants a BB gun, but the parents say the famous quote, and pretty much his teacher and everybody else says, "You'll shoot your eye out, kid." Ugh, I never get tired of hearing that. But then there's, of course, the other subplots. The kid getting his tongue stuck to the flagpole. The hounds eating the turkey on Christmas, after they've come in the house so many times even though the father hates it. The father getting the leg lamp that the mother despises. Ralphie, of course, saying that, dropping an F-bomb and getting soap put in his mouth. I mean, there's so many classic memorable moments in this film that you could not forget. I mean, yeah, it focuses on, the commercial aspects, but come on. We can all relate to this movie somehow, one way or another, as a kid or as an adult, any which way, at least if you're 20 years or older, even though it took place in the 40s. But kids, again, don't try this at home, or anywhere, in fact. Don't ever put your tongue on a flagpole. Not only will your tongue stick, possibly, but it is disgusting. And germy. Anyway, great film, but you're probably wondering what number 1 is. You ready? Number 1 is It's a Wonderful Life. Classic. Simply classic. And I know, the first half is not a Christmas movie. It's not a Christmas movie until, of course, the second half. I know the special effects are dated, and this was a belated success. And this was probably one of James Stewart's most memorable roles in any movie. And in fact, it's probably so memorable that so many movies and TV shows parody or try to copy it, from Back to the Future to Click to Shrek 4. I mean, yeah, I could take parodies, but please, for the love of God, Hollywood, do not remake this one. There's talk of a sequel being done to this one, and all I could say is I'm simply outraged. It's in glorious black and white, and the special effects are dated. Who cares? It's still a classic. Nothing could ever do any better than this movie. No remake should ever be done. Please, for the love of God, it's a classic. I mean, it teaches the most valuable lesson in any movie. No matter how bad things may get, you never throw any great life away. That your great life can touch other people's lives and make them so much better. I mean, the ending is just... it's the kind of sad, tear-jerking that is undescribable. It's simply the best. I mean, who can argue? And it's the simple theme is that money doesn't make you rich. It's friendship and being together with others around the holidays. So, that's my top 10 list, as well as 2 runners-up. Till next time, happy holidays.
Get over